Hello and welcome to another edition of Yoga and Meditation with me, Jane Stimson, librarian and certified yoga teacher at Lone Star College Sci Fair, Harris County Public Library. Delighted to be bringing you all of our events online this semester. Now, looking ahead to the summer, I will be announcing summer yoga dates very soon. I also want to let you know that all of our summer programs, including all of our summer reading programs, will also be online again this summer. So you can look for all of our events, summer reading program and otherwise, at cyflib.info/events. Okay. So for this evening, I wanted to focus on our side body. So we are going to be doing some work in twists tonight. We're going to be doing some poses that help open up our side body. To transition into our practice tonight, let's just go ahead and take a comfortable sit on our mat, whatever that means for you. I'm hoping we can work in a longer meditation, at least 5 or 10 minutes towards the end of practice tonight. But let's use our mat and just sitting for a moment to transition into our practice. So take a comfortable sit, whatever that means for you tonight. And whenever you get there, take a moment to sit tall. So pull your waist out of your hips, pull your rib cage out of your waist. Your eyes can be gently closed or just softly open. We're going to transition into our practice with a few cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So take an inhale through your nose and exhale, make some sound as you let it go. Good. Trying to let go of everything that came before our day and really focus on our necks this evening. Let's do a couple more. Take a deeper inhale than last time. Exhale, sigh. And now make this one your deepest inhale yet. Fill up. When you're full, try and take in just a little bit more air through your nose. And let's make this the deepest exhale, sigh. Let it go. And then just come back to a normal rhythm of breathing, whatever that means for you tonight. Eyes can be open or closed, just very soft, whatever you've chosen. And I just want you to bring your awareness to your body as it sits on your mat tonight. Letting go of that mental to-do list, things we have to do before class, things we have to get done after class. Let's see if we can just use this next hour together as a gift to ourselves to not worry about anything else that's going on, but be able to focus on our body and our breath and what we're doing with those. So just take a moment to feel your body as it sits on the mat. Take a moment to feel the air as it passes over your face. Take a moment to do a little bit of a guided body scan from crown of your head down to your toes. And just note what places might be feeling a little open, maybe a little closed off or tender or tight this evening. Just places to be aware of as we move tonight. Maybe taking a second to think about what you want to get out of practice over the next hour. And what sort of mental shifts we might need to make that happen. And then when you're ready, bring your hands, palms touching to your heart, bow your head, drop your hands, and gently blink your eyes open and come on back. Excellent. All right, so because we are going to be working on the side body and twists tonight, One thing I like to do when I teach a class like this is to start off with a nice rib massage, really a massage of the intercostal muscles, those muscles connecting the ribs, between the ribs. And this is from a class from a yoga teacher named Tiffany Cruikshank that I really love this exercise. We've done this in my classes before too. So just take one hand, it really doesn't matter which side you start with first. And I want you to take the thumb of that hand and dig it kind of into the middle of your rib cage. And if you can, try and put that thumb kind of in a space between two ribs. And if your body is not the type of body where you can easily feel your rib cage underneath you, that's okay. You know where it is, sort of in the middle of your torso. So just pretend like you can touch it and you'll still be giving those intercostal muscles a nice massage, whether or not you can literally feel that space between the ribs or not. So we're going to do kind of a little teapot action here. So with the thumb kind of massaging the rib a little bit, we're going to inhale and lean away from that side of the ribs, whichever side you've chosen first. And on our exhale, we're going to come back up, and we're just going to keep repeating that. Inhale to bend away from that side. Exhale to come on back up. Okay, so just take your time. You can go with your own breath and your own time here. And then I'd like you to start moving that thumb up and down the rib cage. Okay. So we're inhaling as we side bend away. We're exhaling as we come back. And between each side bend that we do, we're going to move that thumb up and down the ribs a little bit. So just making sure that we get all parts of the rib cage. And then when you find a spot that feels really nice, where maybe you have a little bit of tenderness that you want to work out, stay there for a few breaths. Okay, let's maybe take two more. At a certain point, that bent arm starts to fatigue, and then we're not really doing ourselves any favors by extending it. Last one. And then set both hands down. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And I want you to just notice if you can feel a difference in between sides. For me, I started on my right side, so when I take my deep inhale, that right side of the rib cage feels like it's a lot more open. It feels like it could almost blossom out like an accordion opening a little bit. All right, and then let's take the other side. So whichever hand you didn't do before, go ahead and lift that and take that thumb, dig it somewhere into the middle of your ribs. And on your inhale, we're going to stretch away from that side. It doesn't have to be a huge stretch. Exhale, come back. Inhale to lean. Exhale, come back. And then start to move that thumb up and down the rib cage, getting into each space between your ribs. Remembering it's all right if we can't physically feel those ribs with our thumb. As long as we're kind of getting into the side of that torso, we're getting into those muscles there. And then eventually, you're probably going to hit on a spot where it feels, there it is, where it feels really nice to keep your thumb for a few repetitions. So when you find that, keep it there. Let's maybe take two more leans. Inhale, leaning over. Exhale to come back. Last time. Inhale, leaning over. Exhale back. Good. Drop that hand, take a deep in-breath through the nose, feel both sides of the ribs expanding and opening, and deep exhale through the nose. Nice. Go ahead and straighten both legs and just shake out the legs real quick. We're going to be sitting for just a couple moments more, so I want you to be comfortable here. And then recross, bring the other leg in front if that's how you were sitting. We're just going to take an easy couple of side bends and twists here. So right hand down to the mat next to you. Inhale the left arm straight. And exhale, walk that right hand out, stretching the left side of the torso. And again, this doesn't have to be a very big stretch. We're just starting out. This top palm's facing down. Good. Inhale, come on back to center. Left hand down, left hand walks out a little bit. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, keep walking left hand out till we're in a nice side bend, stretching to the left, feeling those right ribs open. And hopefully they're feeling a little bit more open after that nice rib massage we did. Good. Inhale, come on up. Now, I'm going to turn so you can see what this looks like. You can stay in your cross-legged. Bring the hands behind you and roll the shoulders back. Get the chest really wide and lift the chin and the gaze. And we'll just breathe here in this sort of exaggerated cow pose for a couple breaths. Good. Release that on your next exhale, and we'll take the counter stretch. So hands to the knees, hollow out the chest, tuck the chin to the chest. Take a couple breaths here. Back is rounded. Neck and jaws are relaxed. And on your next inhale, come on up. I'm just going to take an easy twist. It doesn't really matter how you have the legs crossed for this one, since it's just a real easy twist. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, just an easy twist. We're not twisting as hard as we possibly can. We're just starting out. So you're probably looking more off to the side rather than over your shoulder like we might be doing in a twist towards the end of class. Inhale, come on back, and exhale, switch. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, just easy twist into the left. Come on back to center. Switch your cross. We have just a couple more things before we start to move. Just take some nice neck circles all the way in one direction. Doesn't matter which direction you go first. And the next time your head comes back, switch your neck circle direction. Come on back to center. Roll your shoulders back. Start with small circles. And then gradually make those shoulder circles bigger, almost like your shoulders could touch your earlobes. And then reverse your direction. Again, starting out with small circles. And eventually making those shoulder shrugs bigger until you feel like you can just brush the bottom of your earlobes with your shoulders. Maybe you can, I can't. And then eventually coming back to stillness. And then bringing your hands in front of your legs, coming over your legs into a tabletop position. So making sure everything's squared up, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And we'll just take a few sort of hip circles here. Not circles, but we're just going to move the hips back and forth in opposite directions from the shoulders. Okay, so as you do this, feeling that side body, feeling those ribs and how they're moving here. If you want, you can even take a wrist stretch here, so you might want to reverse the direction of your wrists. Give yourself a little bit of a wrist stretch while you're moving those hips. And then eventually making your way back to your tabletop. And we'll move into some cat-cows. So on your next inhale, drop the belly and look up for cow. And on your exhale, rounding the belly, tucking the chin to the chest for cat. Inhale, cow. Back arches, collarbones wide. Exhale, your cat. You're pushing the mat away. Several more rounds of cat and cow with your own breath and your own time. And take one more complete round. And after your next cat, tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips up and back. We're going to take a real easy down dog here. And what I mean by real easy is that knees are really, really bent. Might even be a shorter stride than usual. And we're just warming up to it, so if you want, you can bend one knee at a time. You start to walk that downward facing dog. And then you can also start to sway the hips from left to right. Okay, so knees can be really bent. Heels don't have to be on the mat. And then eventually bring your dog to a stillness. Take an inhale where you are. And on your exhale, slowly walk the feet forward towards the hands. When you get there, dangle for a minute. So backs of hands can brush the mat. You can grab opposite elbow. If you have the flexibility, you can grab opposite elbow behind the knees or the shins. But what we're looking for here is a really relaxed neck, relaxed jaws. Just letting everything go. And then if you have your elbows clasped, release those. And slowly, gently, taking your time, start to roll up to a stand. One vertebrae at a time, head stays bowed. And only when you've rolled the shoulders back does the head come up. Okay, nice. All right, so let's get into our standing series with a few of our half salutations, helping us link breath with movement and helping us get into that rhythm of our body. So taking our mountain pose, leg muscles engaged, tailbone tucked, gaze straight ahead. Arms resting by the sides. When you're ready, exhale everything. And on your inhale, the arms rise. On your exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. On your inhale, hands to the shins, flatten the back like we're coming up, but only halfway. And on your exhale, rebend the knees, refold. Inhale, feet press into the earth and rise to a stand, reach. Exhale, hands return to mountain. A couple more of those. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise to a stand. Exhale, return. One more half salutation. Inhale, arms will rise. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Thighs back, heart forward. Exhale, rebend, refold. Inhale, feet rest into the earth while arms rise. Exhale. Return. Very nice. All right, let's get into some standing side bends. You don't have to move. I'm just moving to face you so you can see me. All right, taking your mountain pose, get a real strong foundation with your feet here. You might want to lift all 10 toes off the mat and feel those four corners of the feet sinking in. Good. Release the toes back down. Arms by your sides. On your inhale, arms rise. Right hand grabs left wrist. One more time. Inhale, rise, kind of roll the shoulders back. And then on your exhale, side bend to the right, left hip goes to the left. So we should be feeling a really nice side bend, or a nice stretch all the way up that left side, left hip through left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come up to center. And exhale, left hand grabs right wrist. Side bending to the left, right hip to the right. And you don't have to go very far in this side stretch to really get a nice stretch. Good. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Clasp the hands. If clasping the hands doesn't work for your body, you can grab opposite elbow behind you. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, bend the knees and forward fold. So clasped hands are reaching up to the ceiling if you have them clasped. Otherwise, again, just really letting that neck and the jaw and head really relax here. Inhale. On your exhale, gently release those hands and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae to the stand. When you get there, roll the shoulders back. Very nice. All right, let's get into our standing series. Come on up to the top of your mat, mountain pose. And when you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold, right foot steps back, right knee down. Now, you can always leave those toes flipped so that the toes are on the back of the mat, or you can tuck those toes. And actually for this series, for this class, I'm going to keep my toes tucked here. Good. Now we're just taking a crescent moon lunge, so both hands to the top of the knee. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, both hands down to either side of the front foot. Come off this back knee. Step back to downward facing dog, just for a breath or two. Good. Inhale where you are. Exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands, left knee down. One and then the other hand on top of your right knee. Inhale, get tall. And then exhale, both hands down to either side of the front foot. Come off the back knee and step that left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. And then inhale, rise to a stand. Exhale, hands return. Nice. Let's take the other side of that sun salutation, and then we'll start adding on to this. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back, left knee down. One and then the other hand on top of the thigh. And in this crescent lunge, a lot of times we tend to sink our hips down and forward, and that's a good way to practice this pose. But for today, I'd like you to think about, as much as possible, making this the back leg straight and having that back hip directly over the back knee. Okay, so we're not really sinking the hips down. We're more staying upright here. Okay, good. Inhaling where we are. And then exhale, both hands down, either side of the front foot. Come off the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Breath or two here. Good. Inhaling where we are. Exhale, left foot in between the hands, right knee down. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, hands down, off the back knee, right foot steps forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. And then inhale, rise to a stand. Exhale, return to mountain pose. Nice. All right, so we're gonna try that again. We're gonna start to add on some poses to that. And if you are somebody who likes to practice with blocks, maybe take a second and get your blocks handy. There's a couple poses where it might feel really nice to use them. So when you're ready, top of the mat, mountain pose. On your next inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. Right foot steps back, right knee down. Lift one, and then the other hand on top of that left knee. And now, if you would like to practice with a block here, I want you to grab it and just put it kind of off to your left side. I like to put mine on the highest setting. Okay, you don't have to do this with a block though. All right, so one and then the other hand is on top of our knee. We are sitting where our spine is straight here. Inhale, lift the right arm, left hand can stay on the knee, and you can stay like this, or you can bring that left hand out to the block next to you, and on your exhale, side bend over to the left. Now you don't have to use that block, but for me that block is a nice place to rest my left hand in this side body bend. Good. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, both hands down to either side of the front foot. Everybody join me now. Everybody walk that front foot out, maybe about 6 to 12 inches. And then on your exhale, shift the hips back, straightening this front leg, toes pointing up to the ceiling. We're doing a little half monkey pose here. And if you want to take your blocks on either side of that front foot, you absolutely can. Take a second, everybody inhale, get the spine really long and straight. And then exhale, fold forward over that leg. Inhale, come on up, start to walk that front foot back in line. Right hand down to the inside of this left hand, so almost as if the foot and the hand are about shoulder or hip width apart. And then bring your left hand to your left hip. You may want to bring your block here where your right hand is. Inhale, get the spine straight. And then exhale, twist the chest open to the left. And you can leave this left hand on your hip, but if it feels pretty good, if it feels like your shoulders are stacked and steady here, you could lift that left arm reaching to the sky for twisted crescent moon. Then bring this left hand back down to either side of the front foot. If you're using a block, remove it. Send this left knee back to meet the right one. Lower all the way down onto your belly. And then inhale into Sphinx pose. So forearms out in front, palms and fingers gripping the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhaling as the chest is broad. And then on your exhale, hands underneath your shoulders, pressing back to tabletop or up to plank, and then back down to downward facing dog. Totally fine to reset our feet here. And then we're going to come out the way that we came in. So inhale where you are. Exhale, right knee in between the hands. Left knee down. Just one in-breath here, both hands on top of the knee. And then exhale, both hands down, putting more weight in our front foot so that as we come off that back knee, we have a little bit more weight to bring it forward. Inhale, lift halfway up, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise all the way to a stand. Exhale, return. All right, let's take that on the other side. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back, left knee down. If you're using a block, we're going to put it off to our right here. First one, and then the other hand on top of that right knee. And we're just getting the spine long and straight here. Inhale, left arm lifts. And if you're using a block, right hand to the block next to you. Inhale where you are. And exhale, optional side bend over to the right here. Using that block on your right side to help steady and balance you. Good. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands down to either side of the front foot.
If we're using blocks, we can adjust them to either side of the front foot. Walk that front foot out about 6 to 12 inches. Inhale where you are, and exhale, shift the hips back. Straighten that right leg, toes point up towards the ceiling. And then just inhale, get the spine long, and exhale, fold a little bit further. Inhale where you are. Exhale, bring that front foot back in line, remove your blocks. Left hand to the inside of the right foot, right hand, right hip. Inhale where you are. Exhale, open up that chest to the right. And if it feels okay in your arms and shoulders, you can let that right arm fly. Inhale. On your exhale, bring that hand down to either side of the front foot. Bring the front knee to meet the back one. Lower all the way down onto the belly. And then inhale, forearms down, chest pulls through in Sphinx. And on your exhale, hands underneath the shoulders, pushing yourself back to downward facing dog. Moving through tabletop if that's how you want to get there. Inhaling in dog pose. Then exhale, left foot in between the hands, right knee down. Just one breath, hands on top of knee. And exhale, hands down. Step that back foot forward to meet the front one. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, return. Let's take a moment here in mountain pose just to bring the hands together, palms touching, fingertips wide. Connect the thumb with the breastbone. And look down and gaze towards the fingertips just for a couple of breaths here. All right. And then release your hands. We got one more flow through to do. When you're ready, take your mountain pose, top of the mat. And then inhale, bend the knees, lift the arms around the ears. We're sitting in an imaginary chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Right foot steps back, right heel pivots down, and we cartwheel the arms up into our warrior two. Front knee bent, front chin vertical, powering up that back leg and that back arm so that we're feeling like both sides of our body are weighing the same. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the right hand to the right thigh. Left palm faces up and stretch that left arm back to our reverse warrior. Feeling the length in the left side body here. Inhale where we are. Exhale, bring the hands back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Shorten your stride by walking in that back foot, maybe just 1 foot width. And then exhale, reach for the front of the mat, back hips kick back, and then bring that left hand down wherever it wants to rest for triangle. If you have your block handy, this might be a good handy place to use a block. Your call. Inhale in triangle. Look down at your front foot. Bend this front knee, and then you can either bring this left forearm to the left thigh, or if you still have your block handy, you can use your block here. We're coming into extended side angle, so last piece of this is this right arm reaching overhead, palm facing down, feeling this beautiful long line from our right fingertips all the way down through our right foot. Just feeling the length in that side body. Good. Inhaling here. And then exhale, hands down to either side of that front foot. Now, we're gonna come into this twist, so you can bring this back knee down and do the same twist you did before. Otherwise, leave this back knee up, right hand plants, left hand to left hip. Inhale where you are, and exhale, open the chest to the left. Option to let that left arm reach towards the sky. Twisted lunge. On your next exhale, bring that hand down to either side of the front foot. Step the front foot back and come down onto your belly, however you want to get there, through plank or through tabletop. This time we're going to take cobra, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows hug in, peel the chest, maybe the ribs off the mat, tops of the feet and hands press into the mat. And then exhale, making your way back to downward facing dog, however you're getting there tonight. Couple breaths here in dog. Inhaling where you are. Exhale. First the right foot steps forward, then the left. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise to a stand. Exhale, return. All right, let's just grab the other side and then we'll start to stretch it all out. Mountain pose, top of the mat. On your next inhale, arms rise, knees bend. We're sitting back in our chair. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back, left heel pivots down. Warrior two, right side. Feeling stable, bringing weight into that back half of the body so that we're not dumping into the front half. Inhale. On your exhale, bring left hand, left thigh, flip the right palm, and reverse your warrior. On your next inhale, come on back up. Scooch that back foot in just a little bit. And then exhaling, reach and come into your triangle pose. Few breaths here. Remembering that you can always use a block wherever it feels best for you. Good. Inhaling where you are. Exhale, look forward at that front knee, front foot. Bring the left hand to the left hip and bend into that front knee. And set your right hand, either forearm on thigh or down on a block or on the floor. And then reopen that chest. You can leave this left hand on the hip or let it fly in your extended side angle. You can go straight up to the sky, or for the full expression of the pose, palm faces down, making one long diagonal line from left fingertips to left pinky toes. Inhale where we are. Exhale, pop off that back heel, left foot down, right hand to right hip. You can bring that left knee down for the twist or leave it up. Either way, inhale where you are. Exhale, open up the chest to the right. And maybe fly that right arm. Good. Inhaling where you are. Exhale, right hand down to either side of that front foot. Bring it all the way down to the belly, however you want to get there. When you get there, flip the toes, hug the elbows in. Inhale, lift up to cobra. And then on your exhale, lower back down. And bring the booty all the way back to the heels for a well-deserved child's pose. Take a breath. Take a rest. Take a moment, look up at your hands, and then shift your hips to the left. Walk the hands to the right. Doesn't have to be very far, it doesn't even have to leave the mat. And then bring everything back to center. Hips shift to the right, hands walk to the left. And then bring it all back to center. Rooting down and forward with the hands, tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Inhaling where you are. Exhale, left foot forward between the hands. And then turn both feet towards the right. So we're turning towards the long edge of the mat. Whichever side you need to turn to so you can still see me is fine. But toes and heels are in line with each other. And we're going to take a nice sort of twisty, wide-legged forward bend here, which feels really nice. So walk your hands out. And again, if you wanted to grab blocks, you could. But we're walking our hands out, so it's almost like our hands and our shoulders are in a downward facing dog, and the back half of our body is still in our wide-legged forward bend. Lift this left hand and bring it under the right arm and grab the side of the right shin. Okay, so left hand, right shin. This right hand can walk out a little bit. You can even come up onto fingertips if that feels good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bend the left knee, we're going to bend the left elbow, and we're going to turn our chest so it faces the right leg. Okay? So left elbow, left knee are bent, and we're using that to turn our torso and our chest over to the right. And now this left hand doesn't have to hang on for dear life, right? It doesn't have to bend super deeply, but think almost like you're pulling on your pants here, whatever you have on. So we're kind of using that elbow to actively twist us over to the right. Good. One more breath here. And then on your exhale, both hands down, move them underneath your shoulders just for a minute. Inhale, let's come up halfway, flat back. And then exhale, refold, re-walk the hands out, and we'll take the other side. So left hand stays out, right hand lifts, goes under the left arm, grabs the outside of the left shin. And then we're bending that right knee, bending that right arm, using that to turn our torso to the left leg. Giving ourselves a nice shoulder and a nice little upper back twist here. And that gaze, if it feels okay for your neck to look up underneath that left armpit, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just position your head and neck however feels best for you. And then release that. And one more time, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. And then walk or hop these feet in till your feet are about hips width or together. And then one more time, we're going to sit back and raise the arms like we're sitting in our imaginary chair. And then keep sitting, keep sitting, keep sitting until you sit all the way down on your mat. Not a fancy transition tonight. Okay, legs out long. We're going to do our last few seated poses to prepare us for sitting for some time. So both legs out straight, knees can be bent if we need to. Inhale, both arms rise. And exhale, forward fold over those legs, bringing hands wherever they want to rest comfortably. With each inhale, thinking about extending that crown and that spine a little straighter, a little longer. With each exhale, thinking about folding a little further. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, gently, slowly start to release that. Taking your time, coming back up to a seat. And then go ahead and let your legs go wide in a straddle pose. Right hand rests palm up on top of the right leg somewhere, shin, thigh, wherever it's comfortable for you. Inhale the left arm up. And on your exhale, side stretch over that right leg. If you have the flexibility, you can bring this right hand to the inside of the right leg and grab the big toe edge of your foot. If you have the flexibility, you can grab the pinky toe edge with that left hand, and then you can bend both elbows and look up underneath. But if that is not coming to you tonight, don't sweat it, right? Just reaching for that foot is enough. Inhale, come on up. Bring the left hand behind you. And then I want you to just lift off those hips if you can into sort of a rock star pose. Good. And then bring it down. Nice. All right. Let's take the other side. Left hand palm up on your left leg. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, side stretch over. Taking your variations of grabbing the foot if you want or not. And then inhale, come on up, and we'll take that counter pose, right hand behind us. This is totally optional. You can lift your hips up and reach that top arm back, good. And then come on back down. Sort of like a weird way to get into, I can never remember if it's rock star or wild thing. All right, bring the soles of your feet together. And the heels can be as far or as close from your groins as you'd like. Take a second, maybe flutter those knees up and down. And then come to a stillness. Inhale, get really tall. And you can stay right here, or if it feels okay, you can exhale and start to fold over those feet, walking the hands forward. And if you have a block handy, sometimes it feels really nice to rest that on your feet and then rest your forehead on top of that. Sometimes pressing your forehead, that spot between your eyebrows, giving it a little bit of gentle pressure on something can be a nice stress reliever. A couple more breaths here. Good. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, gently, slowly, start to come back. Then we're just going to take one twist, and then we'll set up our seat. So bring your left heel to the outside of the right glute. Step the right foot over the left knee. So we're going to come into an Ardha Matsyendrasana twist here. Right hand behind you, left hand holds on to right knee. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist open to the right. If you want, you can move this left elbow on top of the right knee to give yourself more leverage in the twist. So just think back to the twist that we did at the very beginning, right? That very easy twist. And just feel, for me now, I am looking a full 90 degrees. I have more, that much more mobility, right? I'm looking totally behind me now, whereas before I was looking out to the side. Inhale where you are, exhale, bring it back, and we'll switch sides. So right leg is on the bottom, left knee on top, left foot stands to the outside of the right knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, get tall, and exhale, twist open to the left. Right hand is holding onto the left knee or right elbow to the top of the left knee. With each inhale, thinking about extending the crown of the head towards the sky. With each exhale, thinking about opening up that twist to the left a little bit more. And each side of the body is different. Maybe you're not twisting as far in one side as you are in the other, normal. Good. Last inhale where you are. And then exhale, bring it back. Good. And then real quick, just before we sit, just bring the knees out in front of you and just windshield wiper the knees, just kind of shaking out that last twist out of the hips. All right. And then I want you to take your time getting into a seated pose that feels really good for you this evening. So I'm going to grab my cushion. Okay. You can grab a pillow, you can grab a block. You can, if you don't have any of those, it's okay. You can always roll up the back of your mat and sit on that little roll you've created. Just when we're sitting for a little while, it's nice to be able to have the hips up a little bit to help us stay stable in our seat. Okay, and hopefully we're nice and warmed up after almost an hour of practice for this sit anyway. All right. So for me, my most comfortable sit tends to be kneeling actually on my cushion. For you, it might look a little bit different. So wherever you are, take a comfortable sit for you and your body this evening. Could be crossed-legged, could be kneeling like me. But I do want you to be upright for this one as opposed to lying down. And wherever you are, let's all take a minute to sit tall. So pulling our waist out of our hips. Pulling the rib cage out of the waist. And the gaze is straight ahead. Eyes are soft. They can be softly closed or just softly open. The shoulders are loose. And the belly is full and easy. And tonight we're going to be doing a monkey mind meditation. And there's a couple variations, and in either variation, the point of this meditation is that it allows us to see how quickly the mind wanders and gives us a way to bring our mind back when we do notice it start to wander. So starting with just a simple object of awareness, bring your awareness to your belly and notice how your belly rises as you breathe in, and notice how your belly falls when you breathe out. So we're not imagining anything, we're not visualizing anything, we're not trying to control the breath. We're using the breath as a hitching post for the mind. Feeling the belly rising on the inhale, noticing the belly falling on the exhale. And you have a couple of techniques you can use in this meditation. So on each in-breath, think to yourself rising.
Not trying to control the breath, but every time you notice that your body is taking in a breath, thinking rising. And as you exhale, you have a couple of choices. Very simply, you can just think falling. So we can think rising on the inhale and falling on the exhale. Our other choice this evening is to use those exhales as a countdown. So we think rising on the inhale, we think 100 on the exhale. Rising on the inhale, 99 on the exhale, and so on. And whichever variation you've chosen tonight, we're all thinking rising on the inhale, and we're either thinking falling on the exhale or counting down from 100 on each exhale. Whichever one you've chosen, know that your mind is going to wander. I think this is a practice just as much as our physical practice is. So when you feel your mind start to wander, or when you feel your attention taken away by sensations in your body or sounds that you hear around you, that is bound to happen, bring your awareness back to the breath, rising on the inhale, falling on the exhale. And if you've chosen the countdown variation, every time you feel your mind wander, start that countdown over again at 100. Rising in, falling out. When you feel your mind start to maybe go off in other directions, just gently bring it back to the breath. Rising in, falling out, or beginning that countdown again at 100. Those three things will always try and bring us out of our meditation. The sounds we hear around us, the sensations in our body, and most of all, our own mind. And the practice with meditation is not to do it perfectly. The practice with meditation is to practice bringing our mind back to that object of awareness, the rising, the falling of our belly, the countdown as we exhale. There are many practices where I cannot get down past 99. I just keep starting over again at 100. That's okay. But know that this stillness is just as crucial for your body's health, for your mind's health, as the physical practice is. Rising in, falling out. Now we have a couple of moments left, So at this time, if you would like to gently transition back to a traditional rest pose to end class, I invite you with the minimum of movement and fuss possible to lay yourself back on your mat and let your muscles relax and release and let go. Otherwise, stay in your sit, bringing your awareness to that breath. Rising in, falling out. If you decided to lie all the way back, start to bring movement back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes, rotating the wrists and the ankles, and then stretching the arms overhead. Take a deep morning stretch, arms and toes stretch away from each other. And then roll over onto one side. And use your hands to press yourself up into a seated position, eyes closed. You just decided to stay in your seated meditation, eyes gently closed. Everyone join me with palms touching in front of the heart, eyes closed. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening. Please bow your head, drop your hands, and gently blink your eyes open and come on back. Excellent. Nice job tonight. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Take care.